Hey guys, Dr. James Jernigan with Cornerstone Chiropractic. I'm here again with Liz Kahn with You Be Well, and what we want to talk about, what do we want to talk about today?
We were talking a little bit about what the stress does. So I was telling you that I was running late and I could feel my shoulders go up like this.
Yeah.
And then we started thinking about, because it's the beginning of the year, how are we doing with those resolutions? Feeling like this yet?
Right, and welcome back to work.
Right.
Work week, trying to catch
man.
up on the holidays and trying to regroup, recover from that, and still have probably a pile of work to do.
Yeah, well, that's always the other fun part, when people
Yeah.
actually take a break from work and then they come back and they're like, why do I have 600 emails in my inbox?
Yeah.
And we do this. What happens when we do this, Dr. James?
You cannot separate your emotional stress from your physical stress.
No.
And really, the physical stress leads back to the emotional stress, and
It's a nasty little cycle, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's a nasty cycle.
And so what we want to talk about is just take a second and just take a deep breath in and just relax.
When you feel your shoulders go up, you can intentionally bring them down.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the coolest things that I've discovered in my work is these feedback loops.
Yeah,
The muscles, they're necessarily connected to your central nervous system,
absolutely.
which is necessarily connected to your brain. Everything functions together.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I do this, my thoughts start going, oh my gosh, I'm late. I'm not doing my best.
Right.
I should have done, I could have done, I would have done, but I didn't, and now I'm beating myself up, and my shoulders are going like this, and maybe I'm coming down like this.
Mm-hmm. And that's raising your cortisol, raising epinephrine, norepinephrine, and your adrenals are just
On overload.
on overload. And so really it's no secret.
Right.
You know, and there's been plenty of research showing that your physiology dictates and can play a role
Right.
in your mental state as well, and vice versa.
So do we think that everybody should do an hour of yoga every single day?
Probably not.
No. That's not a recommendation I would make.
Right.
But I do think that we can start to take some awareness of our body and then use that information. We are always going to be talking about using our body's information.
Yes.
Key point here, when I feel this, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to change how I'm thinking too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry, my throat is crazy.
It's
Okay.
curling.
So one quick tip: if you're at your office, if you're at home, if you just put the kid down, have your hands up like this, bring your elbows back,
Ooh.
and then you can feel that contraction right between your shoulders. And if you pull out or you move your arm, I guess you can do it. You're in the video, yeah. Do that. That's going to contract even more your rhomboids.
That feels great.
And what that's doing is it's pulling your shoulders back. It's
Is it aligning you in some way?
It's definitely it's kind of like when you were a kid and you came between a doorway and you pressed out as strong as you could, and then you walk away, and then your hand starts floating up.
Yeah.
And so it's literally retraining your body to be in the proper position.
And when you do these things, and it's automatic, right?
Mm-hmm.
We start feeling bad, and we literally try to shrink ourselves on a subconscious level. So when you can lift yourself,
Yeah.
this is like
Absolutely.
bootstraps type thing. When you can do it by yourself, take a deeper breath, oxygenate your brain.
Mm-hmm.
That's important, right?
Huge
We
for
always want to make
everything.
sure that we've got enough oxygen going through our system and that we're doing things on purpose.
Yeah, and being intentional about it. And,
Yeah.
And you can either I just set myself up in 1,000 different ways to win. So every single time I go through a doorway, that's my reset button. If I want to make a change, I use a doorway, because how many doorways do you go through every single day?
Yeah.
And so you go through a doorway, reset, refocus. You don't have to be weird about it,
But you can be.
It's just there's a little bit of a tip for you. Just take a deep breath in through your nose, relax, and just remember it's like yesterday we talked about gratitude, and that can completely change your emotional state.
Yeah.
By just saying a few things that you're grateful for, being reminded about what you're grateful for, and
Doing it on purpose.
and then guess what starts to change?
Ah.
Your physiology, all
The
those
thought
trigger
process.
points that are being built up every
Mhm.
time that you're in this position, lockdown mode.
Yeah. It's really, when it comes down to it, if our goal is to give you actionable steps every day,
Absolutely.
today's actionable step, do it again.
So hands
Hands
up,
up.
back, And then if you feel like that's a good contraction, you can stay there. If you have shoulder problems, maybe just stay like that, because we know a good stretch versus pain.
Right.
You know, we don't want pain, but when you do that, hold for 10 seconds.
Breathe.
Breathing,
don't forget to breathe.
And then relax. And do that 3 times. Morning, noon, night. And you're going to be drastically, you can definitely tell as soon, like the first day, you'll be able to notice a change.
Well, and that's the physiological element of it. When it comes to, I say, I'm going to do this 3 times a day, and then I do it, we're taking control.
Absolutely.
We're taking a little bit of agency back from that subconscious process that really dictates pretty much everything that we're doing every day.
Isn't it crazy that let's say you're doing a diet, or let's say you're doing this stretch for a week, right? And you do it solid for a week. You didn't cheat. You didn't mess up once. And then you mess up one time, and that one time overshadows literally all of that other hard work. So what I think is, okay, maybe you missed it one time. Maybe you had a cheat meal. Maybe you
jumped off the wagon for a minute.
You fell off for a second.
Jump back.
Just use that next meal or that next time you do it as just a small win.
Yeah.
Just like,
I did it. I got back.
We're gonna go 1,000 times into perfection,
right.
And we try to keep these videos short, but
we're doing great. I think I wanted to. Yeah. There's this other concept, and you may have heard about it when people talk about life like Tetris, where you can do all these great things, and like they disappear, but the minute you screw up, it starts to stack up. Yeah. And I want to erase that. Yeah. I want to erase that because we don't want our mistakes to stack up. We want to be able to rise above them. And truly, through gratitude from yesterday, over the time we're not going to be able to do this cherry picking. We had our gratitude yesterday. Today we have our physiological change. Start doing those things on purpose because you know they're going to help you. And then let us know. I want to know what your results are. I want to know what you want to hear about too. But I also want to know when you've been implementing, what's different for you. Yeah, and because guess what? When you first work out, that one workout. And it hurts. It definitely can hurt. And that can stop you. But also, guess what happens when you start working out? Naturally, your body starts craving healthier nutrients. Right. But guess what happens when you start having a life of gratitude? You're going to start finding ways to make other people's day. Yeah. You're going to start being, it's just a natural response that once you start implementing little healthy changes. Right. You know why? What? Because the brain has a part of your brain that's the reward center. And so the more you ping that reward center, like this is where addiction comes from. Get addicted to gratitude, right? Get addicted to it. Because truly, there really aren't any negative side effects for being addicted to gratitude. Yeah. Like you make your day, you make other people's day, and then the more you can keep yourself in line, physically, emotionally, I mean, you become that joy. You spread all of that joy to everyone around you. That is so good. It's like being infectious. Be infectious the right way. Yeah, it's so contagious. So we love you guys so much. So much. Just take that one step. Yeah. One stretch. 10-second hold 3 times, 3 sets, and then 3 times a day, and you're going to drastically change it. And take that time while you're doing those stretches. Think about what you're grateful for, and so you get to keep building on yesterday. Do with things in tandem. Yeah, absolutely. Yay. We love you guys. Leave a comment below. What do you want to learn? What do you want to know more about? And we would be more than happy to dive into it. Absolutely. We like results. See you guys. Bye, guys.